Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all. My name is Muhammad Zahim bin Muhammad Sukairi with matrix number B0918103444 under Supervisor Technologist Azman bin Ibrahim. I would like to start my presentation with a question mark. Did you notice that the weather is getting hotter day by day? Well, it is due to global warming. The term of global warming refers to the increase in the global average temperature. In other words, it is the process of our world heating up. Global warming is expected to produce 2 until 5 degrees Celsius in the Earth temperature at the end of the 21st century. As a result, the people most affected are outdoor workers. So, in this particular study, the research is about study on body temperature effect towards workers that works in hot ambient by using cooling fans. Basically, when the workers, especially in the outdoor environment industry, being exposed at high temperature, of course, it will affect their performance, their focus to the work, and some of the cases, it may lead to human error, reduction on productivity, and of course, some of this extent, it may cause the accident occurred at workplace. This is the one major things that I'm trying to minimize it, the impact of accidents such as falling object from high and so on. That already happen a lot in industry, especially in the outdoor environment. So the temperature is actually play a significant role in order for us to improve the human performance. So in this particular study, we want to look the workers that work in hot ambient, which is at risk of developing severe heat-related illnesses that can lead to fatal incidents. If you look at the picture below, this is the actual incident reported by Anstar occurred last year, where a crane collapsed on a car at highway construction. The car driver were critically injured and two construction workers died at the scene after falling 30 meters from the construction site. So this is an example of workers who are increasingly losing focus due to the fatigue. And of course, the ability to provide comfort is getting more difficult nowadays, where this relates to the objective of this study. The main purpose of this research is to develop individual personal cooling using electric fans as the main supply and using belt and fabric duct as the conceptual design. So I will explain in more detail in the next slide. So specifically, this research focused on to study the effect of long exposure of direct sunlight towards body temperature and to study the effect of body temperature with and without fabric duct fan belt, and of course, to fabricate an optimization design concept of fabric duct fan belt, whereby the scope of this research is to focus on limitation of the project based on following point. Firstly, is the fabric duct fan belt is only available for 3 to 4 hours usage using high-speed mode. Second, only fabric duct fan belt is only for outdoor workers that work in a hot and humid environment. And of course, due to the limitation of the scope, fabric duct fan belt is only for workers that have a range of waist circumstances around 28 to 40 inch. We move to the literature review. So alternatively, this research has been studying the hot environment that outdoor workers faces during performing a task. The gap of the study is between 2015 until 2021. To be summarized, this research consists of human comfort, type of jobs that are exposed to hot environment, risk of injuries due to heat exposure, measurement parameters, weather temperature in Malaysia, and current innovation. For the methodology part, this particular case, of course, we do have flowchart that shows the sequential phases of the process. This is essential because decision must be made for the process to be function. So we start with literature review. After that goes to the design comparison, whereby the benchmark and data collection as long as concept design are studied in detail. Then follows by final design where the prototype is made. Next, data analysis, fabricate testing, and result discussion. In terms of conceptual design, uh, for the first design, in terms of the material, it will use coated cotton fabric on the outside and insulated fabric on the inside. Then it will use plastic buckle clip to be tightened at the waist. And because the electric fence has a clip, the product will be add up a hole for the supply. So in the second design, we'll be using pouch bag as the conceptual design. The air distribution will add up small nozzle. Same as the third design, there is no much different from the second design. However, air distribution will be using standard hole with a diameter of 4 mm. The difference is second using nozzle and third design not using nozzle. So in terms of fabricating, the course will be using Shopee online shop as the supply medium to fabricate the product. For the material selection, we'll be using permeable fabric material, which it is flexible, breathable, pressure care, waterproof, and windproof. The prototype for the prototype section, the prototype have been made to develop various design options to experimentally realize the fabric duct fan belt. So this is essential to developing a better design because it shows a distant perspective, look and feel for how the system may be put together. The material choice for fabrication is duct tape. So this is the view from front, this is from behind, and this is from top. For final product, the final product will be used permeable fabric that has been sponsored by Prehoda Malaysia Sdn Bhd. For the sew part, we just send it to the tailors. So this is the front side, this back side, and this is the full view of the fabric duct fan belt. For the protocol of experiment, the investigation is conducted in an opening condition in a warm environment. To simulate outdoor workers, the subject was sunbathing for 3 to 5 minutes so that the body temperature will remain constant. Figure below show the layout of the experiment, where the subject is doing the experiment. The experiment will start with a timer and the data will be recorded every 30 seconds for 20 minutes. We go to the result and discussion. For selecting the best design section, there will be 5 experiments. Experiment 1 with 5 holes, Experiment 2 with 10 holes, Experiment 3 with 15 holes, Experiment 4 with 20 holes, and Experiment 5 with 25 holes. So, as you can see at the slide, this is the result. For the graph, 5 holes indicate blue, 10 holes indicate red, 15 holes indicate silver, 20 holes indicate yellow, and 25 holes indicate purple. As you can see in figure, temperature 1 was placed at the front of the body on the right side. For the past 3 minutes, all holes were experiencing growth until minute 6. Then, the 20 holes body temperature started decrease to 0.2 degrees Celsius. After that, all trends of line graph back to increase again. In minute 8, 25 holes began to decrease the body temperature, and this temperature remains constant to the average temperature of 35.2 degrees Celsius until the end of the experiment. For temperature 2, the temperature was placed at the front of the body on the left side. For hole 25, the temperature began to be constant from minute 9 until minute 16. The temperature is between 35.9 degrees Celsius to 36.7 degrees Celsius. For body temperature 3, the temperature was placed at the back of the body on the left side. As we can see, the temperature keep rising sharply from minute 1 to minute 8, except hole 25. Holes 25 are still growing, but they rise in the control condition. For temperature 4, the temperature was placed at the back of the body on the right side. As we can see, the trend of the graph for holes 5, 10, 15, and 20 is not stable. The direction of the chart for hole 25 was the most constant and in the control condition. To be concluded, the trend pattern of the line graph for 25 holes is the most constant than the other 4 holes. We move to the comparison section. It represents the comparison between non-fence and with fabric duct fender with 25 holes. So red is indicate 25 holes and blue is indicate non-fence. It can be noticed that the body temperature at the front is higher and uneven before using fabric duct fan belt. After using fabric duct fan belt, the temperature decreased drastically. This shows that the front body temperature gets enough airflow after using the fabric duct fan belt. So this is the result for temperature 3 and temperature 4. To summarize it, the temperature for both is consistent, but notice that before is higher than after using fabric duct fan belt. For the survey section, the survey is conducted to 10 UTEM students. The result shows that the rating from 1 to 5, which is 1 represents bad until 5 represents excellent. The radar chart shows that the fits at the waist get the lowest average, which is 2.5. This is because fabric duct fan belt has no adjustment and is permanent. The sweating rating got an average 3.6, which is the second lowest. More bigger people create more heat due to having to move greater body mass, which results in more heat being generated and as a result, more sweat. In terms of getting enough airflow, comfortable, nice feeling, and overall performance, it got a high rating. So this shows that the fabric duct fan belt is function goodly. So as a conclusion, the effect of prolonged exposure to direct sunlight on body temperature has been investigated. The body temperature will be increased along with time. Heat can be lost if the skin temperature is higher than the ambient temperature. Next, the result from the analysis proved that continuous airflow circulating the body can reduce and maintain the body temperature. In terms of shape, this research used a C shape to balance the airflow to the body. However, the shape cannot be straight. The minimum number of holes for the fabric duct fan belt is 25. If less than 25 holes, the temperature will rise and thus not in control condition. That's all from me. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum.